Hi guys, Peter back for yet another video. This video is for Julian. Hi Julian out there. This is for him. He requested an album review, and it's this band here. At time, possibly my favorite band ever. I say possibly because there's a lot of bands around, but if I had to force, I'd probably force to make a decision on going with them. And my channel has got a reference to them, so you probably know who it is. The Doors, the first album he wants me to review. 1967, January 1967. And yeah, so there's the back of it. 11 tracks, about 44 minutes in length. Of course, everyone knows the band. Jim Morrison on vocals. Of course, he's a songwriter. And we got Ray Manzarek keyboards, organ, and Robbie Krieger guitar, who's quite a songwriter as well. And you got John Densmore on the drums, Robbie Krieger, of course, on guitar. And there you have it. That's the album. So 11 tracks, as I said. Many consider this their best album. It's up there for me. I will do another ranking one day. But there's another album that I'm quite fond of. All the albums are really good. I love all their albums, always have. And we'll just go through the album. So as I said, guys, 11 tracks. It's got here words and music. They used to do that in the beginning, words and music to all songs by The Doors, yeah, and produced by Paul A. Rothchild, of course, who produced them up to Morrison Hotel. So we'll get into this album. Of course, they were formed in about 65. This album came in January 1967, and everyone knows the story. But going back to this, an iconic album for the 60s, for the late 60s, you'd have to say. We'll go through the tracks. Break On Through to the Other Side, which was a single. Didn't do much in the American charts. The album did, of course. The album flew high, but the Break On Through didn't do much. It's a great song. Lyrically, the Doors have always been great. How could you not be with Morrison writing the lyrics? I've always had that very interesting lyrics of, talking about different themes and so on. There's a darkness to the Doors. That's why I like the Doors. There's a darkness and there's a light side. You got the poppy side, and you got for example, Touch Me, and then you got When the Music's Over. You got what I'm saying? You got that two sides of the coin sort of thing. But getting back to Break On Through, always loved it as a song. A nice, it rocks along at a good pace. I guess you would call this a rock song, a pop rock song. It's more delving into rock, I reckon. But yeah, a really good track to open things off. And then Soul Kitchen starts with the Ray Manzarek on the keyboards. A phenomenal track with a fantastic solo by Robbie Krieger. One of my favorites on here, always loved it, but this album from start to finish is pretty impressive. So that's a real good song, Soul Kitchen, love that. Now, The Crystal Ship is a beautiful track, and beautifully, a great vocal from Jim. Sings it fantastically. And it's got a nice piano part in it, and it's got a great melody. And it's one of their greatest songs for me. Always loved it, and yeah, it's just a beautifully done, beautiful track. So that's The Crystal Ship, which is another high point of the album. Then you got 20th Century Fox, which is a good track for me. Mightn't be up there with Crystal Ship and Soul Kitchen and so on, but is a very good track. A bit of Robbie Krieger guitar in it, which is nice. The lyrics aren't real heavy in this song. It's very light-hearted, so to speak. And not as like other songs like that you get with the Doors, So that's a good one. Alabama Song Whiskey Bar. Love how they do this song. It's so infectious. Got that bit of that carnival. Doors always had that carnival feel. You have the keyboards. It sounded like a carnival, and it comes out in great effect on this song. Um, and a very well done cover. It's a really old song, isn't it? Yeah, it's a really old song. Then you get Light My Fire, which played to death, but a rock classic. Went to #1 in America, but the shortened version went to #1, not this album version, which is the extended instrumental part where you get a lot of Robbie Krieger guitar. So that is the original version. And for radio back in those days, the radio stations wouldn't play things that long, so they edited the version, and that edited version went to #1 in America, and rightly so. It's a great song, and that's got keyboards, got a big guitar. I like the drums in it. The vocals fantastic. What more can you ask for? Side 2, Backdoor Man, fantastic vocal by Jim. This is where you get Jim at his most dangerous, his most menacing on this vocal. So he can really adapt to each song. That's why I love him as a vocalist. He's very adaptable to each song he's singing. You got the tender part, you got the loud part, the menacing part is in this case. Great cover of an old blues standard, fantastic. I Looked at You, very pop orientated, not one of the high points, but a good track. A good track nonetheless. Very short though, just over 2 minutes, but a well done track. End of the Night is Jim at his most soothing, I would say. A very slow track, very atmospheric type track, but a really good song. End of the Night. Take It As It Comes, a bit more up tempo. You would say it's verges on, it's poppy, bit rocky, but short, but catchy. So it makes its point, comes and goes as I just said. And then of course the end, over 11 and a half minutes, just lyrically brilliant. Of course incorporates a lot of Morrison's poetry. You get the singing and you get the spoken word in this. So it incorporates a lot of that, the Morrison, and very a controversial song at the time. I won't go into that, but it's very controversial of what Jim used to on stage one time shouted out the lyrics. Everyone knows about that. Bit of a profanity used on stage, and yeah, and there you have that. But that's just a timeless track. Yeah, it's timeless. You could play it at any time, back then or now, and it works. So, and one of their big epic songs, like When the Music's Over, which is a great track as well. But you know, the end is fantastic. So there you have it, guys. I only could give this a 10 out of 10. There's no other way to describe it. And it looks, the cover is fantastic. You got the band in the foreground. You got Jim looking very sullen, looking very serious there, not smiling, and the name on the top, just iconic, and a true classic, one of the great debut albums of all time. And yeah, there you have it. It clocks in at about 44 minutes, and it's a 10 out of 10 from me. Now, I'm going to have a try at picking my 3 favorites on this album. I'm going to go, I won't do it in any order. I'll just go, look, I'll have to pick Light My Fire, although it's been played, and I'll have to pick The End, and I'll probably have to pick The Crystal Ship. But it could be anything, you know, so it's a bit of a pointless exercise, but because any song could be chosen as a favorite on here. For the most part, I would say. So there you have it. All good, and there you have it, guys. And I'll see you guys very soon for the next video. I'll be doing more album reviews. I'll also be doing, I'll try and get a ranking going, which I've been working on, but it will come. And yeah, there's another look at the album. And yeah, so go out and play the Doors, everybody. For me, I don't think I've heard a better band, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned. So there you go, guys. Go and listen, and it's a 10 out of 10. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye for now. Bye.